Hello, traveler of the mind. You've arrived here because somewhere deep inside you, there's a voice whispering the same truth. Nobody is coming to save you. Not tomorrow, not next year, not when the circumstances are finally perfect. The weight of your own destiny sits squarely on your shoulders, and whether you rise or crumble depends on what you choose to do with it. Think about it. Since the moment you were born, you've been surrounded by invisible promises. Promises that someone else would eventually show you the way, that the world would hand you the answers, that luck or fate would sweep you into the life you dream of. But life doesn't work like that. The world is indifferent, brutally fair in one sense. It gives nothing for free, and it owes you nothing. And yet, that's your greatest advantage. Because if no one is coming, then everything depends on you, which means you are free. Free to shape yourself, to rise above, to command the direction of your own life. Picture for a moment a soldier stranded behind enemy lines. No backup, no cavalry rushing to his aid, just him, his mind, his will. In that silence, he realizes something most people never grasp. His survival depends not on waiting, but on acting. He becomes sharper, faster, more alive than ever before. Why? Because necessity has stripped away every illusion, leaving only the truth. No one is coming. That's what this video is about. Not fear, not hopelessness, but power. The kind of power that ignites when you stop expecting rescue and start becoming your own savior. You see, most people will drift through their lives with a quiet hope that something or someone will change it all for them. They wait for that perfect mentor, that lucky break, that magical turning point, but not you. If you're still watching, it means you already sense that you are cut from a different fabric. And maybe right now you feel the pull of doubt. What if I'm not ready? What if I don't have what it takes? Let me remind you of something. Every great figure you admire, athletes, leaders, thinkers, warriors, started where you are, facing the same silence, the same absence of a savior. And they chose, they acted, they moved. This is the first step to stop waiting, to stop handing over your life to chance, to stop believing the fantasy that someone will climb into the storm to drag you out. You have legs, you have strength, you have fire, but only if you use it. So ask yourself right now, what are you still waiting for? Because once you fully accept that no one is coming, a strange kind of liberation takes hold. It's like stepping off a moving walkway that everyone else depends on, a path where the world seems to carry them, but secretly drags them toward mediocrity. You feel a surge of energy that comes from realizing you are not bound by their expectations, their timelines, or their rules. You are the author of your own story, and for the first time, you hold the pen without apology. Think about it. Every moment you've waited, every glance at someone else for guidance, every sigh of "someone will help me," was a wasted opportunity to act. And yet here's the cunning beauty of this truth. That wasted time was necessary. It brought you to this moment of awareness. Most people never wake up to it. Most people keep looking for a savior until they grow old, broken, and bitter. But you are awake now. You are seeing what few ever see, the raw, unfiltered power of self-reliance. Picture a lone climber on a mountain, the peak shrouded in clouds. The wind lashes, the path is jagged, and the world offers no hand to hold. Every muscle aches, every step demands courage. But each step taken, because there is no one to do it for you, is a testament to your strength. And with each step, you grow more alive, more alert, more capable. That mountain doesn't scare you, it tests you, and you are learning to love the test. Here's something most people fail to grasp. The absence of rescue is also the absence of compromise. No one else's judgment can sway you. No one else's timetable can dictate your pace. No one else's fear can infect your determination. You are sovereign over your own journey, and that sovereignty is intoxicating in its own right. Suddenly, the world is not a cage, it's a canvas. And consider this subtle, almost mischievous insight. When you stop expecting help, people start noticing something different about you. There's a quiet authority that radiates from someone who moves without reliance. Others may mock it at first, try to pull you back into dependence. But dependence is a weight you've shed. They sense it, and often unconsciously, they admire it, even envy it, because they are still tethered to their illusions of rescue. Remember the small victories that no one applauded. That late-night grind, the extra effort in silence, the choice to stand when everyone else sat down. Those moments were more valuable than any external validation. they were your proof, your internal ledger of strength. Multiply that by months, by years, and you begin to see something terrifying and beautiful. You don't just survive, you grow unstoppable. And here's the ultimate twist. Once you internalize this truth, failure no longer paralyzes you. Every mistake becomes data. Every setback becomes a teacher. Every obstacle becomes a proving ground. Because no one is judging you and no one is coming to bail you out. You are free to fail, free to learn, free to dominate your own evolution. Now ask yourself, how long will you cling to the illusion of rescue when all along the only thing standing between you and mastery is your own courage to act? And so, once you've embraced the fact that no one is coming, your perspective begins to sharpen. You start noticing the patterns that used to elude you, the empty promises, the distractions, the comfort zones that once felt safe. Every external voice urging you to wait, to doubt yourself, to hand over control, now becomes background noise. It's as if you've turned down the volume of the world, and for the first time, you can actually hear your own instincts, your own inner authority. Consider this. Power isn't given, it's taken. And those who wait for it rarely claim it. They sit in the shadows hoping for someone to hand them recognition, direction, or validation. But you've already realized that the only validation that matters is your own. That quiet, unwavering voice inside, telling you to rise, to act, to become more than what yesterday allowed. Every day you ignore it is another day you surrender a part of yourself to mediocrity. Let me tell you something most people never dare to admit. The world will test you relentlessly. It will throw obstacles, betrayals, and setbacks at your feet as if to see whether you truly understand this lesson. And here's the truth. These tests are not punishments. They are invitations. They are the forge in which your resolve is tempered. The absence of rescue doesn't make life cruel. It makes it real. And only those who dare to take full responsibility can thrive in that reality. Think about a moment when you faced a challenge alone. Maybe it was a decision no one would support, a risk no one would take with you, a struggle you had to endure in silence. In that moment, you found a fragment of yourself you didn't know existed, a strength that needed no witness, a resilience untouched by others' opinions. That strength, once acknowledged, nurtured, and acted upon, becomes a foundation for everything else. Every subsequent challenge becomes smaller, every fear less daunting, because you've already faced the ultimate test, yourself. And here's the subtle, almost sly reward. The more you rely on yourself, the more the world seems to bend to your will, not because the world owes you anything, but because confidence radiates and others sense it. People unconsciously respect those who refuse to be dependent, who move decisively, who refuse to wait for rescue. That quiet, almost magnetic authority doesn't need to shout. It doesn't need to prove anything. It simply exists, and it is unmistakable. The key here is relentless action. Not reckless action, but deliberate, consistent steps that affirm your sovereignty over your own life. Every choice you make, every task you complete, every fear you confront, compounds into an unstoppable momentum. You are no longer a passenger in your own story. You are the driver, the navigator, the engine itself. So ask yourself, will you keep waiting for a hand that will never come? Or will you seize the life waiting for you, starting now, with the power that has always been within you? And now, having seen the landscape clearly, the question becomes, what do you do with this truth? Accepting that no one is coming is only the first step. The real power lies in action, deliberate, relentless, and unapologetically yours. Every decision, every movement you make from this moment forward is a declaration. You are in charge of your own life. Start by claiming your time. Most people give it away as if it were worthless, filling hours with distractions, waiting for inspiration, waiting for a sign. But you understand that every second is a tool, every moment an opportunity to move closer to the person you are capable of becoming. It's in these small choices, what you focus on, what you ignore, what you refuse, that your independence is forged. Then comes the next layer. Discipline. Not the kind imposed from outside, but the kind you cultivate inside. It's waking up when you'd rather sleep, pushing forward when you'd rather quit, doing what needs to be done even when no one is watching. Imagine an athlete training in an empty gym, or a writer pouring words onto a blank page long before anyone will read them. Their victories don't depend on applause, they depend on themselves. And so do yours. But power is not just about action, it's about perception. Once you start relying on yourself, the world will try to shake you. It will tempt you with shortcuts, distractions, the easy way out. And here's the cunning part. You must learn to smile at these temptations, not with arrogance, but with quiet awareness. Every attempt to derail you is a test of your resolve, an opportunity to strengthen the internal fortress you've begun to build. Think of every challenge as a mirror. The harder it hits, the clearer it shows you who you really are. Will you crumble under pressure, or will you stand taller than ever? Will you complain, or will you move? The answer lies in your willingness to act without waiting, to trust in the strength you've always had but never fully claimed. Finally, let this sink in. The world doesn't need you to succeed, but your life does. And that is a powerful truth, almost mischievously so. Because when you stop looking outward for rescue, when you stop depending on chance or other people's goodwill, you unlock something the majority of humanity will never know. Freedom from expectation, freedom from judgment, and freedom to become the person you were always capable of being. Every choice, every effort, every step you take alone compounds into momentum that is unstoppable. Every obstacle you overcome alone becomes a monument to your strength. You are no longer a passenger waiting for rescue. You are the force that shapes reality itself. So the question is no longer whether someone will save you. The question is, are you ready to save yourself? And in doing so, rise higher than anyone ever expected. And now we arrive at the moment where theory becomes reality. You've seen the truth. No one is coming. But knowing it is only half the battle. The other half is becoming the person who acts on that truth every single day. This is where ordinary people falter and where you can step into a different league entirely. Start by taking responsibility, not just for the big moments, but for the small ones. Every choice you make, no matter how insignificant it seems, is a brick in the foundation of your independence. Did you finish that task when it wasn't convenient? Did you speak your truth when silence would have been easier? Did you push through a fear instead of giving in? These are the quiet victories that no one applauds, but they accumulate, forging a resilience that becomes unshakable. Then comes consistency. Power is not an instant spark. It is a flame fed by repetition. Imagine a hammer striking steel over and over until it bends into the shape the artisan desires. Your mind, your habits, your discipline, they are that steel. Every day you act without waiting, without excuses, you are shaping yourself into someone unstoppable. Every moment you defer to doubt or distraction is a moment lost. The choice is simple: act or be acted upon. But let's not overlook the mental game. You must learn to speak to yourself differently, to see setbacks as lessons, challenges as opportunities, and solitude as a teacher rather than a curse. When you stop blaming circumstances or waiting for someone else's hand, fear loses its grip. You begin to trust yourself. You begin to move with quiet confidence, aware that the only approval that matters is your own. And here is a subtle, almost electric advantage. The world notices this. People instinctively sense strength, independence, and self-reliance. You may not shout about it, you may not announce it, but it radiates from you and it draws respect, opportunity, and influence naturally. They can feel that you are not tethered to expectation, not dependent on approval. They feel it because it is rare, and rarity is power. Finally, understand this. The journey of self-rescue is endless, but each step elevates you. The first steps are the hardest because they confront years of dependence, comfort, and fear. But each subsequent step becomes easier, more natural, more exhilarating. You begin to realize that the obstacles, the doubts, the hardships, they are not punishments. They are the proof that you are alive, awake, and capable. So here is the final truth you must hold close. No one will save you, but that is exactly the gift you need. Because when no one is coming, you are free. Free to act, free to grow, free to rise above the masses who wait, hope, and surrender. Free to become the strongest, sharpest, most unstoppable version of yourself. And the question now is not whether you can rise, it's whether you will rise fully and unapologetically, knowing that your life, your destiny, and your power are entirely in your hands. So here it is, the ultimate truth. No one will save you. Not tomorrow, not next year, not when the storm seems too fierce. And yet this is not despair, it is liberation, because in the absence of rescue, you discover something most people never will, the immense untouchable power within yourself. The power to shape your life, to overcome any obstacle, to rise stronger, sharper, and more relentless than you ever imagined. Look around. The world is full of people waiting for someone to give them permission, waiting for luck, waiting for rescue. And while they wait, life passes. But you've glimpsed the secret. Independence is not given. Strength is not handed down. Victory is not borrowed. They are claimed, forged, and owned by those who dare to take action alone. Ask yourself, will you be a spectator or will you become the architect of your own destiny? Every step you take, every choice you make, every fear you face without waiting for someone else's hand, compounds into momentum that cannot be stopped. The path ahead will be yours entirely and unapologetically, and the world will recognize it, not because it owes you respect, but because you have earned it through courage, discipline, and relentless action. Now this is the moment where you decide, not later, not when it feels convenient, right now. Take the fire that's already inside you, the determination that's been waiting silently, and turn it into unstoppable movement. Become the force that shapes your own reality. If this message resonates, if you feel that spark igniting inside you, then don't let it fade. Hit that like button, because every action, even this one, is a small victory in claiming your life. Subscribe to the channel so you never miss a step in building the mindset, the power, and the clarity to rise above. Remember, no one is coming, only you can save yourself. And when you finally realize that fully, nothing and no one will ever be able to stop you.